So, yeah, namaste, welcome to the Nepal Mahatyara. So, we have a honorable guest here from the Nepal and Sri Lanka. I don't know how to present. So, he's here today, so that was so lovely. Lovely to have him here. So, Venerable Suvarna, so Vante Suvarna. He got the trains. He was most of the time he stayed in actually Sri Lanka. He ordained in Sri Lanka as the monk, and here he got two masters in the Buddhist studies and the Buddhist counseling part. Now he's doing a PhD in the so that's why it's so honored to have him here. And he traveled around the world and talk about the Dharma. So I just want to invite him for our Vihara. So it is great to have him here. And so, rather than just to make it, today just try to make the interactions with the spiritual interaction, that I call. Because sometimes like a Dharma talk, it is hard for people to take in. So if you have any questions and any doubt and anything about the Dharma, you can bring it ask the questions so we can answer, or especially the Bhante going to answer about the truth, whatever you have a doubt on that. So that's why we're going to start. So welcome to the Bhante. So first of all, I want to ask him, his little bit life about how he became a monk. That's why always curious about why people become a monk. Why? What is make you that inspired to become a monk? So
that's a good question. Starting. Thank you so much, Prajal Vajracharya, for inviting me here. We have this wonderful spiritual community, and I really like that question, and it's really touched my root why I became a monk. I was also born in a Newari, Vajrayana, kind of semi-Vajrayana, semi-Theravada, and also Hindu mixed culture. So when I grew up in the western part of the Hindu Valley, a lot of monks used to visit in our village. And I often perceived monks as a Santa Claus. They bring a lot of gifts, chocolates. When I was like a baby, we used to go to temple to just pray. And the monks and nuns used to feed us a lot with gifts and chocolates. That's one of the first impression I got. How kindful they are, how compassionate they are. And also, I have always been that I also want to become like that. They never judge us, I remember I thought I was failed in grade 1 for Yeti. It was Sunday Dhamma school. In Nepal, Saturday Dhamma school. Only Saturday we have holidays. So I was failed in the examination, but none of those monks and nuns, criticized me, except my parents. So I was thinking, wow, they never judge us. They never care about our merits. And that's the one reason. And another reason is very funny. I'm not good in schooling. Actually, at the beginning of my life, I was not good in mathematics, STEM, especially maths and science. So my parents don't know how to fix me. So there is a saying in my hometown that if kids are not good enough, better send them to monastery. They can fix them. So I was one of them, born into that journey. So I went to Anandakuti Vihara, one of the very first convent Theravada in Nepal. So they trained me a month and sent me to Sri Lanka.
So that was from that
Vihara at the age of 11.
Oh.
Yeah. And my family told me that once you go to this monastery, you don't need to study, you don't need to school, you have to just chill. That's how they sent me for 5 years actually. But later I decided to continue for more than 5 years, and now it's almost 27 years.
So in a monastic tradition, they usually have so much rules always.
Yeah.
So it is how it is the beginnings and like that, just like it doesn't get the first day, like you have to wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning
Yeah.
and meditate and Okay, what is your experience on the
Yeah.
early days?
Yeah, it was very difficult. I was just 11 years old when I went there, and yeah, of course we had to wake up 4:30 early in the morning and fresh up and plug the flowers to
Yeah.
go the Buddha at 5 o'clock.
Okay.
If he didn't wake up, we will get the very fresh cold water bucket. Wait, kind of punishment. Yeah, those days I perceive as kind of like a rehab, kind of they're trying to fixing us. It was quite difficult at the time when we were kids. Even I don't know how to do my laundry. The senior monks used to do laundry. It's quite a big role.
Oh,
So at the time we didn't have any washing machines. The time 90s. So it was quite difficult at the beginning, but later I found meaning in those training, although it was very hard at the beginning.
yeah. So the Theravada tradition is like very strict, lots of path.
Yeah.
You have to be in the monastery, you have to eat before 12 o'clock, you cannot eat after 12 o'clock, Those how you take that into, Nepal, you need to eat 2 times a day before you go to bed, or 3 times in a snack. Actually 4 times, tea in the mornings and a lunch at 9 o'clock, and then afternoons and dinner. So how is that difficult for you to adopt that, changing, look it up, the rules to follow?
Yeah. At the time, at the beginning, I took it as very harsh, strict rules,
Right.
and there's no meaning at all. Because since we were teenagers, we have craving for sugar, for food all the time.
So do you have to have after 12 o'clock you're not allowed to eat?
Not allowed to eat, but sometimes we hide chocolate bar,
Okay.
extra
Okay.
snacks or chocolates.
Okay.
Sometimes even the elder mothers, fathers, they give us, without knowing our habits.
So it's like from Nepal to in Sri Lanka. I don't know. Do you speak the language, English language? But
Yeah, Sinhala is my most familiar, like the second mother tongue.
how that became
Because once I moved to Sri Lanka, all of my education was done in Sinhala language.
Oh, okay.
So not even in English. So my first 8 years of monastic education and also the secondary and high school in Sinhala.
So where did you study the English? How to speak the English?
Oh, I went to several teaching school, the English teaching private classes, and I did my bachelor in English.
Oh, okay.
I had some kind of broken English when I was in Nepal. My parents sent me to a boarding school,
Oh, okay.
so I had a little bit of background.
So in the basic monastic trainings like that, as the wisdoms, as the spirituality, so what we can give it for the modern world, basically in 21st century. What is the method you can share with inspire to the ordinary people like me, with the families, with the wife, with the baby? How you can inspire for the other people in this practice?
Yeah, no matter how much old we are, we all have the inner child inside us. I feel sometimes we feel we are too old, but still there is someone inside us. It's not a real child inside our belly, like a pregnant woman, but the urge for have the unconditional love, urge to play, urge to enjoy our life. We have this inner child inside us, so we need to take care of our own inner child in a way that is very deeply wounded. Even I found my inner child is very deeply wounded. in once in my life when I was in in early 20s, I was suffering from different mental health issues, especially anxiety. I was diagnosed with anxiety and clinical depression. It may surprise, right? How a monk can be diagnosed as clinical depression and anxiety. I was diagnosed and I was in field for nearly 2 years because luckily one of my close friends found me that I was suicidal. When I was studying at my first year of bachelor, I portrayed myself as a failure guy at one time because I could not bear my first year university education because I was suffering from migraine for many years, like 7 years of my teenage, from 16 to 25. So because of that migraine, I didn't know how this migraine, the headache came to me, and I was fed up with my life, and I was very anxious. I don't know how to name my suffering. So on time, I had a thought to end my life. This life is not useful. I should jump from this one train link, bridge, like here you can see another bridge here, train bridge.
Yeah.
Just right, I end up my life from here. I had a thought in my mind, and one of my very close friends noticed that I have changed a lot. And he was shouting me, "Hey, Suvarna, you're not the Suvarna that I met you before. Something happened to you. Do you need help?" And then I shared him, and he took me directly to the hospital for psychiatric treatment. And after many months, counseling, therapy, and drug therapy, I came out from this darkness, this clinical depression. It took me really 1.5 years. And I didn't know how I get here, but later one of my very great teachers, he's a Buddhist therapist, psychotherapist, she connect all the dots of my past now and gave me the image who I am right now here. My another name is actually Purnajan. My legal name is Purnajan. Purna means perfect. So I was always seeking perfection in my life. That's the reason why I was suffering. I don't know why my dad gave that name. My dad name also Purna, so I also my name Purna. That's my first name. But I always want to be perfect in education, in relationship, in spiritual progress, in everything. And I know perfection 100% only exists in mathematics, not in the real life. Everyone has their flaws and limitations, which I didn't understood at that time. So because of that perfection tendency, I build up anxiety all the time. I want to be perfect everywhere, wherever I go, from people. Of course, it took me, it gave me a lot of advantage. I got a lot of scholarship. I never paid for my studies. Every time I studied with a scholarship, full-time scholarship. Even I came to USA with full scholarship. So it gave me a lot of advantage. At the same time, I had a lot of things to pay back. My body could not bear those stress. So it turned into depression. But I came out from the darkness, and I like one quote from the Carl Jung, one of very great psychologist. I think there's a student of Sigmund Freud. I think you know Sigmund Freud, right? One of the great psychologist. So he says that enlightenment is not always focusing on darkness. Focusing on light or thinking about light. Enlightenment or awakening is that you are aware that there is darkness inside you. So I found my darkness where I was stuck. And it was deeply rooted in my childhood because I had a very hard, as I said, I wasn't doing schooling, and my parents used to, physically abuse. I mean, not physically, they used to beat me, trying always, name me as Papa, Zara, the different terms in Nepali, right? Useless guy, you are the worthless guy. This kind of words were always hidden inside my deep part of my subconscious mind. And it was always there. I never acknowledged that. And my professor, my psychiatrist, my therapist connected those. Because of those wounds, I was making myself always perfect. It was just simply cry for unconditional love from my parents, from my society. And because of that, I developed this perfection tendency, and it was one of the reasons I was driven to that darkness. And eventually I came out. Mindfulness helped me a lot. Also with all the therapies too.
So how's the training in the monastic life? I just want to know about what they teach you, like Abhidharmas and there's all the Navagranthas, things that, you have a class, like you wake up 4 o'clock and then have a breakfast, and what is it scheduled, how you learn all the Dharma in the monastery?
Yeah, so as you said, we used to wake up early 4:30 and we need to get ready for our breakfast before 7. We need to clean everything. And after that, we need to do our homework. Our monastic school starts at 2 o'clock evening. Up to 6 p.m. So I used to take two buses to my school. And so in the school, we were taught all the Oriental languages, Pali, Sanskrit, and Sinhala. Three Oriental languages, and also English too. And all the regular subjects too, like science, math, social science, health science, history. Those subjects also was taught, and also astrology, counting the stars. And we were taught mostly the literature and the grammar too.
So
those 3 languages.
when you study those kind of things, it's not like a monastic school. It doesn't look like a monastic school.
They give more priority to the monastic subject, right? Pali, Sanskrit.
Yes. But like the mathematics and histories, those part of the Buddhist studies.
Yeah, those are part of the course, but we need to pass there is in British education, there's an examination for O level, A level. So we need to go hand to hand with those curriculums here.
That's government rules you need to go
exactly.
for it. Okay. So when you get to like a little bit, graduations and so you literally you choose the subject. So like, okay, I want to study more. So you get a master, they get a, what do you call it? They give you so basically they have a level, like at the first level, the 9th grade, 10th grade, then you graduate from the, so then 12th grade you get, you need so it's basically same school like other school.
No, it's different from, so only monks are.
Yeah. But even though monk, they are studies, the whole social studies like other school.
Yeah. As a by subject, the more priority given to the Buddhist studies.
Okay.
And mostly the textual studies.
So in the textual studies, what else they have teachings in the textual study there?
So yeah, as you say, the Vinaya, Abhidharma, the Sutra, and also the logics, Asian logic, Nyaya Bindu, Tarthasastra. Yeah. And also how to, read and write some Sanskrit poems, the meters, how they are structured and linguistic. And also we need to read the Vedas too.
Vedas too?
Yeah.
Okay.
Vedic and classical Sanskrit literature, like Ramayana, Mahabharata, Bhagavad Gita.
Why that to make it important?
Yeah, I also see I asked why did you include the Vajrayana text? I didn't expose to any Vajrayana texts in my monastic education. Only all the Hindu Vedic texts.
That's right.
Yeah, I was so surprised. Why didn't they include those? Only the Tarkasastras of Mule Madhyama Karika.
So Tarkasastra means like a debating, basically.
Debating the logics. Yeah.
You need to debate. That's also the Gelupa traditions like that. They have two questions, you have to be right answers, and that's what's the master exam, that way they do. So if the master asks you a question, you have to write in there like bang it that is, blast it there as an answer. If you don't do it, you gotta fail. So that's just the debate.
And you don't get offended, right? You don't care about losing your debate.
Yeah, and then debate also can go on to, I don't know, in the Tibetan tradition, I was in one of the temple there, they was debate all night, So they have to make it logically, make it that debate, so you need to be a logical point. So if you lose, then you lose. So I don't know, then you go to, I don't know how that worked in the Theravada tradition.
Yeah, it didn't have much the colorful, the way of debating. We just doing an examination. Not in the,
Somebody asking all questions?
no,
This one.
unfortunately, I didn't have that.
Yeah, so, I mean, Theravada is Theravada or Sravakayana, or sometimes they call also Hinayana, that's the same, but the people that like to call it Hinayana. So there's a three different paths on the Buddha Dharma, and within there also there's so many branches there. So sometimes confused like that.
Yeah.
Buddha Dharma is like why the Buddha is making too many different peoples, even like they are Buddhists, but they are in a different path of the Buddha Dharma. So how you, like as a Theravada, how you take it like those people who follow Dhamma, those people who follow in Vajrayana people?
Yeah, earlier period of my training, I was taught that this narratives of superior and inferior.
Mm-hmm.
We are the superior, others are inferior. We are the right and others are wrong. This kind of narrative I was taught, and I bought that narrative at the beginning, early period of my life. But later, I understood that that's just our own human psychology. None of them are superior or inferior. If something works for you, or something reduces your suffering, if something reduces your defilement, your craving, your delusion, your hatred, that's the great. You don't need to, differentiate or discriminate this or that, me versus others, or ours versus them. If any kind of perspective, they're very, very powerful, and they have been to different territory. Yes, of course, it was born in some part of central in India, northern part of where the Buddha was enlightened, and it spread all over the Asia. And wherever it travels, when you compare to other missionary, stories, we didn't find any stories that the Buddhist missionaries, they make war to convert people. They just the Buddhism convert into their culture. So it came to Sri Lanka, it became Sri Lankan Buddhism. It came to Cambodia, it became Cambodian Buddhism. It went to Tibetan, it became Tibetan Vajrayana. So it mixed with the native religion, native culture, native philosophy. When you went to China, it mixed with Confucianism, Taoism. When it went to Japan, it mixed with Shinto. So
yes, the root is basically the same.
It's basically the same.
Also to end of the root, what you call that, the enlightened path. It's the same.
Same.
They call it different names. So literally.
The way we do our application like a cultural thing, it may from outside looks different, but inside we are following the same path of enlightenment.
So how, if you need to teach some things that is in a logic way, people's that ordinary people, what do you give the message for you to practice the Buddha Dharma, like non-Buddhist people, like how you make it that this is Buddha Dharma is a great or something, like in a Christian tradition, they usually come and knock on the door to door, that convincing like people. But we don't have that tradition. But how you can give for inspire people to be Buddhist? What message you can give?
Yeah, that's a very broad question.
Simple way like that.
Yeah.
In what we do in the temple like that, we do the ritual.
Rituals,
like
yeah,
that.
very
Ritual
powerful.
is a part, and then we do the six paramita. And it's very simple. And the six paramita is basically generosity, discipline, effort, and the patience. That's four paramita. If you are really get into, then it became the jhana paramita. And then once you get jhana paramita, consciously work. So you have a four paramita. If you're really working hard, you became a jhana paramita, consciously work. And when you consciously work, it is became a wisdom, the pragya paramita, which is wisdom way of working. So every single word, whatever it is happening, is wisdom way of working. So same way like that, any little method like that, easy way of practicing in the Theravada tradition.
Yeah, so I can boil it down in simple terms that two. So basically, we all follow any kind of religions because of suffering.
Yeah.
We all have suffering. That's why we go to church. Sometimes we go to club, and today a lot of people are enjoying the soccer, right?
Yeah.
Because it's reduced their unhappiness, right? They can be able to feel happy. That's the main motto of joining any kind of events, especially spiritual events. So all kind of spiritual institutions, churches, masjids, temples are emotional cushion, emotional comfort zone for you. When you are having a very hard charged emotion inside you, that's a great place to be to reduce your suffering. So we all have this urge to reduce our suffering. That's why we are here today also. So when you boil down the Buddha's teaching, we can boil down in a very two simple way. One is purify your mind, your heart especially. That's the one method. Whenever your heart or mind is full of these three poisons, I think you have learned, right? Greed, hatred, delusion. We all have these three poisons. Time to time, we are injected by these three poisons. So whenever these three exist in our mind or heart, we cannot be happy. We cannot be peaceful. So we need to check time to time who are inside our home. I think all of you have insurance, the home insurance, an alert system. If someone knock your door without your permission, its alarms goes off. That's called alarming system, right?
Yeah.
We also need to have that kind of alarm system in our mind. These three robbers often come to us when we are not awake, when you are in deep sleeping. So mindfulness, obviously. When you are awake, when lights are inside turn on, and if those robbers know that you are inside, you are armed or alarmed, and they won't come inside. They don't dare to come inside. But when you are in deep sleep, they come inside you, you roll everything, take it out, everything, and make your life mess. Even a second can change the entire life. If you go to the correction department, jail, who are in death row, just a minute or just a second, decision make them from good person to totally, criminal, bad person. You don't need to discriminate bad versus good, but just keep this alarm on all the time, the mindfulness. What's happening to you, to your body, mind. And it helps us to stay away from those darkness. Clean your heart and mind. Especially nowadays, we are living in AI world, right? We're too much bombarded by information, right? I remember when we were small, we have only one TV channel. 2 hours in the morning and 2 hours in the evening. Only on Saturdays we did like 12-hour bell with few films, movies. That's all.
Yeah.
But now we have thousands of TV channels, thousands of social media, and our cell phones are always, popping up with notifications. All those informations comes to you, and they are wired, they are programmed in such a way to push a button. Angry, hatred, jealous, worry, right? So our mind basically wander in several places which are very dangerous to us. So we should know where our mind will wander most.
So how you make it a suggestion for what is the best way to practice? Vipassana meditation or samatha, so what's the way to make that mind, or how to, like an easy way of get away from suffering? What is the method we can use?
Meditation, direct vipassana is direct meditation, sit on the cushion. So everyone cannot afford that, comfort sitting on the cushion, right?
Yeah.
Some are very busy, some cannot afford
But
10
some
days vipassana. But you can have just 5 minutes meditation. Even so one of the misunderstanding what I found among the common people is meditation, people often misunderstand that meditation often happens on the cushion. Of course, that's the ideal way of, you sit down on the cushion in the lotus posture, close your eyes in a very serene environment. That's the ideal way of meditation. But meditation is also happen off the cushion too. While you're praying, while you're chanting, while you're talking, while you're eating, even while you're inside the restaurant, it is also part of the meditation. We cannot divorce our life from meditation. It's always within us, within our practices. I'd like to share one of my story of my master.
Okay.
I want to crack a joke. I think is it okay? So one of my master, he was a great master. Still, he's a ex-professor, former professor at my university life. So one day he really wanted to make a house. So back in Sri Lanka, still, the real estate business is not good in Sri Lanka yet. You need to find a piece of land and you need to build from scratch. You need to find a builder, buy bricks and everything. You need to build your own house still. So one of my master, the professor, really want to make house, and he already finished his house. Now he want to know how to decorate his kitchen. So he went to house, for neighbor's house, to find how the kitchen is designed. Which direction is the window should be there, where the stove should be there. So he went house to house to know how, because see my master was a ex-monk. He was in monastic like me for like 50 years, and he's disrobed, and he doesn't know how the kitchen looks like in the home. So he really wanted to know how to make the kitchen more beautiful. So at one home, what happened was when an old lady, and he asked her, "Can I see your kitchen?" And the old lady said, "Yes, of course, you're welcome to my shrine." Shrine. Again, my master asked, "Hey, maybe you misunderstood, maybe you didn't hear me properly. I asked you, can I see your kitchen?" Come to my kitchen. Come, my son, come to my kitchen. I said, "Come to my shrine." And he was watching, is there any shrine, little shrine at the corner of the kitchen? He couldn't find any shrine in the kitchen. And again, he asked the same question from the old lady, and the old lady shared her story. The kitchen is a place where I practice meditation mindfulness. I chop the veggies, without chopping my hand, mindfully. It's a place where I develop compassion, make loving kindness, appreciative joy. All the meditation and the prayer I practice here inside the kitchen. So this is the shrine for me. So this story really resonated me that because meditation can happen, spiritual practice can happen anywhere, wherever you go, even on the street.
Okay. Yeah.
while irritated drivers honking you from backside. You can practice some metta. Take a 3D breath.
Yeah. It's very popular songs. Is one of the songs. Is the Kunmandi Madhan Soyatri Kunmandi
Yeah.
Madhan. It's talk about like your body is a temple where you need to go. So that's also there's lots of the Mahasiddha. They have songs about I went to this Ganga, I went to pilgrimage after this place, but we don't look at yourself as the pilgrimage. So it's a wonderful pilgrimage within yourself. And they say that I bow to the statues of which made with the clay, I bow to the statue with the stones and the goldens, and that it nothing happening there. But within yourself, it's a beautiful golden statue with yourself.
It doesn't mean that you don't need to find a temple. We need a place to gather.
That's right. So, yeah, this is like the mindful training. It's very important for people to practice that. So, but for me, I still we have a vipassana meditation, we have a samatha meditation, and when you come to the Vajrayana, it's just like that you have a reciting the mantras and chantings and all different parts. But some people it doesn't resonate that part. Something's not quite, I don't know, whatever it is, it's difficult for them to just sit or just walk or mind always bother them. So they are not doing. So those people what is they make, what we can give inspire them to do a little bit, sit without thinking. One master said that take your time for 2 hours without doing nothing. If we have 24 hours, within 24 hours we have 8 hours for work, 8 hours for socialize, then 8 hours for sleeping, 16 hours, 6 hours for socialize, and 2 hours for nothing, do nothing. That means if you can do it, his mind will be better. But some people, it's a hard time, how you can do nothing.
That's a difficult thing, right?
Yeah. So it is a hard time for people to do nothing, So at least either you're looking to the phone, either you're looking to the book, either so how we can make it that to the mindful practice in the daily life. It's difficult for the ordinary people the practice as the mindful way.
Yeah, that's a very good question. Yeah, so we haven't trained our physical monkey mind.
Yeah.
We love to make our mind more busy, and we are afraid to be with our own self. Be with our own self is not easy. It's full of pain, suffering, traumas. Not only this year or this life trauma. Since we believe in reincarnation, we have traumas even from past life. So just be with ourselves. Doing nothing is the most hardest. Without that, you cannot find peace. So we can learn just observing. We are called human beings, not human doings. But we are so busy with doings. That's how our society is made, right? To make a lot of merits, credits, to always do work hard all the time, like machines through this industrial and the heavy capitalistic world. But we are human beings too. We can just be. It's called objective observation. So there is two way of meditation, basically. Of course, samatha vipassana too, in technical terms, but also it's called two mode of meditation: being mode and doing mode. Being mode means you don't do anything, you do nothing, and just observe whatever happens to your brain, whatever happens to your body, whatever happens to your mind. Just do objective observation, just like a scientist in a lab. They make all the conditions inside the lab and just watch what happens without intervening the result, without expecting the result. So that's the one way of observe. Just like you're sitting next to the bank of the river. the shore of the river. Just watch what's going on. I can see a lot of rivers here, right? Just go there and watch, sometimes logs, sometimes flowers, sometimes leaves, sometimes, even dead animals. Sometimes the water is very clean, sometimes very dark, Our mind is like that. Sometimes the mind becomes so illuminating, shining, sometimes so dark. Even aware that you're not mindful, even aware that your mind is dark, is a mindfulness. So people often misunderstand that, oh, I couldn't sit for even for a minute. No, it's not that. You're mindful that you're not mindful. That's also a big mindfulness. That's a big victory. If you're aware that you are angry, that's one of the biggest victories.
Yeah. So I'll open to the floor for a
Yes.
question. Anybody have a question? But my last question is for you, because Theravada traditions, it is very strict and very not allowed to waltz, singing, and dancing. That's the part that is a very strict rule. They have not, for what you do for the fun things in the monastery.
Yeah, that's a very nice question. I often say that, Theravada is the most boring school in Buddhism. Less entertainment. The Vipassana school are very dry, you sit on cushion for hours in a silent for more than 10 days.
Right.
It's very dry and no music, no colorful paintings, no mandalas. So yes, it's really boring, yeah. I also feel like that. But in other ways, another kind of training, just like creating boundaries. We need boundaries, right? Even our clothes have boundaries of our body. We have boundaries of our property, right? So we not mess up our neighbors. We have boundary of city, county, states. We already seen, how people are fighting for boundaries, right? Bombarding, So basically, these rules and regulation of boundaries are healthy boundaries. It creates boundaries to look after your body and mind. So Buddha often explained that, give a very beautiful story of a shepherd, the cowboys. Shepherds need to look after their cattle. So we also basically have 6 cattle. Can you guess what are the 6 cattle? Cows. We have anyone. If you are a shepherd, you look after animals. What are the 6 animals we have? Anyone guess?
Very small.
Huh?
Very small.
Cow. Anyway, no.
Yes. You're very
Would
close.
that be our senses?
Exactly, my friend. Thank you so much. Yes. Basically 5 senses. And Buddhist philosophy, even mine is 6 senses. So mana indriya. So all these 6 senses are our cattle, our herds. So we need to protect these 6 cattle. So they don't know how to dwell outside. So imagine, if you are the shepherd or if you are the cowboy, you need to, take them in a very secure place, right? I remember I was a shepherd in my childhood. I had ships and boats in my childhood. So after school, we used to take my cattle to the ground, where the green grasses nearby our village. So one day we were very busy with playing the games, and when it was time to return home, I found one of my cattle is missing, one of the sheep is missing. Me and my uncle was in trouble. We searched for several days, we couldn't, and we were blamed by our parents that we lost one cattle. Why? We was too busy in playing. So sometimes we are not aware. If you don't have clear boundaries, you lose, because these 6 cattle, they don't know where to dwell. And they dwell in the others, unhealthy territories. So these rules and regulations, as you say, although there is no music, if there is music, there's dancing in Theravada too, but not for monastic, for lay followers. We have drumming, dancing too, prayer. But compared to Vajrayana or Mahayana is very less, but still there are, but only for the lay followers.
Thank you. So, anybody have any questions before,
Please, the floor is open to you.
Yeah, good, so.
Yes, sir.
I'm familiar with Buddhism and teachings of Buddhism, and I'm familiar with counseling psychology, but I've never heard of a Buddhist counseling. So I'm curious what Buddhist counseling looks like, how it's different than regular counseling, how Buddhism informs.
It's a new, it has been in the history, but never taught in a technical way. So I did a master in counseling from Hong Kong University. So it's a very new program. So they are developing the program. So they are borrowing certain counseling technique from Western psychology, like active listenings, those empathy, those techniques. But they are more grounded to the Buddhist philosophy. So in Buddhist philosophy, we have these all the impermanence, emptiness, sunyata. So based on those philosophy, they're trying to help to come out from the people from suffering. So basically what happens in the Western psychotherapy is they boost the ego a lot. They always say, yes, you can do, yes, you can be Elon Musk, you can be Bill Gates, or you can climb the Mount Everest, or you can go to the moon. That's how the positive psychology has been treating us for the last 7-8 decades, right? That's why the self-help industry is very booming, right? A lot of programs to boosting yourself, right? It's fine. It serves the capitalism and the world very well, but it doesn't serve for human well-being, especially emotional well-being. So the Buddhist counseling methods are, now they're developing certain methods. So even you have heard that mindfulness-based therapy, MBCT, MBSR, mindfulness-based cognitive therapy, mindfulness-based disease reduction, dialectical behavior therapy, even the ACT, accepted commitment therapy. All are they coming from Buddhist-based background, especially from mindfulness. So now these new courses are emerging. Most of those mindfulness revolution happened back in 80s, 90s, and now it's booming. It's a multi-billion-dollar industry nowadays. There is something missing because they are too much secularizing the technique. They're only taking the few portion of mindfulness, not the whole package. Only the one small portion which fit into the clinical field, and they're applying that. There's nothing wrong with that. I really appreciate what they are doing. It's really reducing the suffering, especially John Kabat-Zinn is the first one who introduced mindfulness in the clinical world. So it's really booming. It's a very great alternative non-drug therapy. At the same time, it's like there are certain therapies like Mark's assistant, not that assistant, another Mark's assistant. It's called psychotherapy without self, no problem. So, they're coming from sunyata. If there is nobody inside you, why you are so much worried? If there is emptiness inside you, why you are so much worried about the image? We are buying the story and we are building the story which even not belongs to us. So, this kind of holistic awareness, can we bring through Buddhist counsel based on Buddhist principles. That's the Buddhist counsel basically. Yes.
Buddhist counsel also, it is amazing to know about like in a few words, if you speak in a few words, and they have a way of looking that which categorize you are in the Buddhist world. Like they call it Parma families and the Buddha families, Ratna families, how you dress up, how you look, how is to tell you that who you are. So, and then as soon as they see that way, they have a treatment in antidote for that, and then they make you into, okay, you need certain things to do. So that's the way, in my understanding, that's why it's maybe that's different than the university. So in university, academic world, academic world haven't been able to.
Yeah, academy always want to sharply categorize.
Yeah,
Yes,
categorize
okay,
that,
this person has this kind of personality,
Yeah.
and we need to give this kind of dose of therapy
Yeah.
or medicine sharply. But human psyche, human mind is very complex.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So for example, if you have some kind of mental issue, if you go to 10 different therapists, psychotherapists, you get more than 5 different diagnoses.
Yeah, yeah.
Sometimes many times misdiagnosed, because human mind is very diverse, and it changes so fast, and we cannot fix into the box one person forever.
Mhm.
The same, for physical illness, yes, of course, you can do a lot of testing, right? Lab testing, blood, everything, CT scan.
Mhm.
But for the mind, it's not possible. It's changing, it's in flux. So, Buddhist counseling or Buddhist psychology see the human mind as very rapid changing thing, and we cannot, put in the human mind into one box. Okay.
So you have mentioned so many things regarding the theory of Buddhism, but I'm going to little bit divert into different part of our discussion. So you were born in Nepal, and you have also studied a lot of Buddhism in Nepal, and then now you went to Sri Lanka. So compared to Sri Lanka and Nepal, what is the most daily life is changed? Daily life, how do you differentiate? How do you compare the life in Nepal and then life in Sri Lanka? Same, they are human beings too. So the most of the people live in their country. They have their own lifestyle. So people go to temple, go to church, not church like Bihar and anything, and then same way in Sri Lanka also. Do you see any kind of similarity? Oh, this is in Sri Lanka one. Oh, this is in Nepalese one. So is there any specific features that you have noticed after you lived for so many years, and then you were born in Nepal and you learned from Nepal, went to Sri Lanka, and then you saw the Buddhist people? Hey, this I never knew that before. Hey, is there any kind of comparative view from your side, so that we can be aware of when we go to Sri Lanka, we should not do this, we should not do that. Just the overall, not like a specific one, the overall your observation of looking at the two different people from Nepal and the Sri Lankan people. So just your view.
Yeah, it's a very good, very broad question. Thank you so much for the answer. Yeah, Sri Lanka and Nepal is in two different geography, and it's like 1,000, maybe 1,000 miles away from each other. They both have their own history and background. Sri Lanka has been Buddhist country for more than 2,300 years, since the time of King Asoka. Of course, they were colonized by several colonizers like Dutch, Portuguese, and a long time by Britishers. But they had the big resistance against them, and they're continuing. They are very connected and very faithful to the region, because they have this resistance. So I can see they are very much attached to the temple. But when it's come to the Nepal, it's my own personal observation. I was also born in Vajrayana family in Kathmandu. So when I saw the priests were doing, we were not taught enough, when to, we did all kind of karma, kriya, those things, and rituals we weren't explaining well. So we just saw like a very mechanical thing that I saw. Please don't take it as a negative criticism. Not explain well why we are doing this and so, why we have different power, why we have different Buddhas. So it has a history, because we know that we lost nearly 800 years. We didn't have enough support from the ruling, the royal, after the the literary time, being the period of Malla, and this is the history of Nepal Buddhism. So Rana regime came, Saha dynasty came, all mostly Hindu dominant rulers. So maybe that's the reason why we lost much connection to our culture. That's my observation. We are doing mechanically, and Sri Lanka they're doing with a meaning. So they have been taught, because religion is compulsory in their school, both in temple, Dhamma school, Sunday school, and also in their schools too. So you must have to take religion until you're grade 10. So maybe that's the reason why they are so much connected. And when you go to Sri Lanka, especially if you have a tattoo of Buddha on your skin, you'll be deported. Or you're asked to hide it. If you wear the statue or image of Buddha on your T-shirt or cap, they pursue as you are disrespecting the Buddha. That's how they pursue their perception. But in Nepal, it's kind of different. This kind of pride, right? You're giving priority to the Buddha. And also regarding the habits of non-veg food, that's very common. Even the monks were given the non-veg food. So in Nepal, people perceive that monks should be vegetarian. Even here, very common question they ask is, you should be vegetarian or vegan. I wish to be vegetarian or vegan, but I cannot, since I lived in many years in coastal country like Sri Lanka. They used to feed a lot of fish, and they consider fish and egg as vegetarian. Very funny.
In my world, like you are very strict that way, then don't even think about that part. But if you are taking, sometimes some people take the egg, or it's not vegetarian, or and the same way fish like that. And then some people, especially in Nepal, cow is not allowed to even think about that. So, and then they eat with the beef with that way. No, they eat buffaloes in Nepal, and they don't even touch with that. But it's buffalo's life and cow life. It's
the same family.
Same families. It's So if you, for me, if you eat everything, even you eat with that little animals, little insect, it is also that you're killing somebody. But if you don't eat just don't eat anything. And then when you could, my risk, when I was thinking about every vegetable have a life. We cut the life of the vegetable, And then there's a way, when people are worker with a farmer, they kill thousands of the worms under the ground, And we are killing so many animals before we get to that. It's like a vegetable, potato is a vegetable, but we kill so many, the worm under the ground before when you dig into it. So that's why, for me, limit is always good. Balancing is always good. So, in Nepal, but it's also there if you eat with the animal meat, you just recite the mantras okay, I'm sorry for you became as an animal, so we have to eat you. But I'm eating this meat, so I wish that you will be not born into this life. So I wish to be born into different life, That's a good way to, at least satisfy yourself, to make transformations happen. So.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
Thank you for coming here. We are sorry for giving many more ideas, information, and enlightening us. I have one small question, is that Nepal is the only country in which we have this never Buddhism nowhere in the world.
Yeah.
So also the people who have faith in Nepal Buddhism. They also go to the to get the blessing from the. No, I mean, not, I'm not talking about just like the ritual.
Yeah.
So lots of people they go to Biharas. Now I'm not talking about Idumbar or Nagabar. Just your Bihar. Lots of people go to your Bihar to get lessons from you, kind of mixing.
Yeah.
I want to know. This is the only country probably you have been to. Sri Lanka is only Theravada. You have been to Hong Kong is only about Mahayan, Chinese Mahayan, there's nothing. But in our country, we have Nepal Buddhism. The people, Nepal Buddhism, they go to the Bhante also. They're kind of little bit mixing. What is your opinion about this?
It's a good way, good approach. Without extreme polarization. It's a good way. Even it was already in our history. If you take it out the history book of, I think Yunxiang or Fajian, who is it? Yunxiang. Wenxiang. So in his report, in his diary, he clearly mentioned that inside the Kathmandu Valley, especially, all of the Theravada, he used Shavakayana, Mahayana, Vajrayana, they live in one temple peacefully. And they stay inside the one temple without any problem. Yes, of course, they have different opinions. So this culture have a room for disagreement. So agree with disagree. Yes, of course, we have a lot of disagreement. But we agree with our disagreement and live with harmony. So that's a great example. Already exists in our past. And later, this new arrival of Theravada in Kathmandu Valley through certain Sakyas family. They went to Sri Lanka and Myanmar. They brought back, which was lost in the past, and they coexist together. And I don't see anything wrong with that. And I see very beautiful, harmonious this, because most of rituals, still in my family, my relatives, we seek all the rituals performance from Vajrayana priest, especially from Kirtipur, Chilonzo, Bihar. So still, we seek all the spiritual practice, especially the rituals from Vajrayana priests, and when we need meditation and this kind of spiritual practices, we seek from our Theravada Vihara. So I can see the very mutual understanding, sharing going on inside the Newari community. And this is a very role model, of course.
Yeah. It's
Tolerance.
Also basically, Nepal is known as the melting pot. So any kind of people come there, they blend in there. So there's no it's not like you are in different caste, you are in. They know they're not saying that way. They embrace everybody. That's what Nepal is.
Yeah, I have one question.
Yes, sir.
I was curious if you could explain a little bit the idea of nothingness you were talking about earlier. When you were talking about therapy,
Yes.
sometimes that helps. When you are anxious or you are going through a lot of mental trouble, but also like nothingness is also very kind of dark, scary. And to say like yourself is nothing, and so I was wondering how to.
Yeah. That's a good question. Yeah, a lot of non-Buddhists or who are alien to the Buddhism, they don't like this concept. Nothingness. All the time we want to be something, right? We portrait ourselves. Even if you ask small kids, they always have a dream, right? You'll be an engineer, doctor, pilot. It's okay to have a dream. There's nothing wrong with that. But the problem is. So this is a very beautiful philosophy of sunyata, or emptiness. So it all comes together. Emptiness, we often misunderstand that emptiness as void. It's not void, it's not nothingness.
is interconnectedness. There is not, the emptiness of sunyata doesn't mean that zero. It means there is no essentially something that you can hold on. Everything is changing and everything is interdependent. The Paticca is everything is interdependent. Nothing is singular. So if you hold something with a very singular entity, one and only truth. So we have this human tendency of hanging around with any kind of concept. This is the only truth. This is the only life. This person, if I cannot have this, if and then, what if, what if. So we are always stuck with the story. What if I couldn't get a job? What if I couldn't get green card? What if I couldn't get married? What if I couldn't get degree or a kid? What if I could get enlightenment in this life, right? What if I couldn't go to the pilgrimage to, beautiful India, Nepal, right? So always we stuck with this narrative of what if. So instead of what if, so what? What's wrong if I get bigger? So what? So you can have this mantra. I open this mantra. So what? What if instead of what if? So emptiness is not voidness. It's not zero. Emptiness is everything. You're all interconnected. So one of the very big problems our human society is facing is, I think, a mental health crisis. Nearly 1 billion, one out of each 8% of human being is suffering from deep mental issues. And in every 20 seconds, someone is ending their life, and we're talking about that. So why they are doing so? Because they think that no one cares about me. I'm alone. The loneliness is a big issue nowadays. I saw, I think a few years ago, the Vivek Murthy is, I think, Surgeon General of White House, of previous government. So he declared that the United States is going to a huge epidemic of loneliness. A lot of Americans, Western world feeling a lot of loneliness. Why do we know? Since we are connected to everything, our breath, oxygen, all these living entities, talking to each other. But we develop a story that no one cares about, no one thinks about, no one loves me. So it's all because of we borrow the wrong narratives, wrong stories. So the emptiness is not nothingness, it's interconnected. We are connected, but we are not boosting this ego too much. The story, basically all our stories.
Sometimes also we can use it as like go to deeper levels of understanding that what it is. Like for example, we say that nobody love you. First, you don't love yourself. Who's going to love you? That's the questions like that. First, we need to learn about loving yourself. I'm better. I can do it better. I can do it. Something. I'm a human being. I have I can make it this change. So if you start to loving yourself, then it's going to be a change. The other part is like that for me, like the emptiness, just a tree. It's a grow, and the leaves fall down. Leaves fall down in the fall, and a new grow. It's a new leaves coming out in a life. So it is a circle of life. So when you get a circle life, and then if you go to more deeper levels of the root, it just go in. It's dissolved in a somewhere else. It's end in a somewhere else. But that's just like something there is like which is emptiness means something there, it's making it stand up. Something there, it's making transformation. Something there is with the connecting each other as is, but they say that, so it's interconnection is there, so that's what we are. Like you can say that like eyes, eyes have a jillions things interconnected to the whole entire body. And one little piece of hair, if you pick, you will know how painful this is. So it is a whole entire connection. And then in the history, like if you know where this one hair grow up, or one hair, what make you the hair, can be enlightened. So we have a way to get enlightened in this body is thousands of different ways. So that's why we need to go to deeper levels of own self, like why, why that is, I have a problem. So that's why the Buddhism like that. Without cause, without reasons, then nothing will happen. There will be the reason behind there. So if you find the reason, and it will be solved in the 2 seconds. So that's why because, right now it's like we away from our own self, all the internet, all the AI, all everything. So everything's out. We never go to the in ourselves to understanding. That's why back in all day, Vipassana, Samatha, and Vajrayana tradition, mantras, you have a concentration, Samatha meditation is like you just focus on one single point and look into, and then it is transformation. Especially in the tantras, like you keep the mustard seed in the head, in the nose, keep the mustard seed and you stick in the nose, mustard seed there, and look that mustard seed, and gaze that mustard seed, you will see the whole universe is in the mustard. It is true, mustard seed, like without the sun, without the earth, without the air, without the fire, without the water, there not be the mustard seed there. The whole universe is there. So we don't see that way. We always look in outside. So that's why in a Buddha Dharma, like a inner, outer, and a secret, they usually make it that statement. So, how you see, it may not be the same. Like we have a cushions, we have a, chair, it's how you see, it's not real, that one, If you're making a piece, it is make a difference here. And then if you're making the grounding that way, it's turning to earth, turning to nature. So there's nothing there. But it is combination with everything. It becomes something. So that's why we need to go more inner part to make more understanding the emptiness. That's my views of the emptiness itself.
Yes. So we have so many stages in Nepal Buddhism, where this Lord Buddha is Achovya, and we have similarly we have Rakyaparamita. We have so many Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. How does Theravada relate to them? In other question, I just want to know the fundamental differences between Theravada and Nepal Buddhism. Your opinion?
Yeah, that's a very broad question. So, since I was brought up in Sri Lanka, even Sri Lankan Theravada also have Avalokiteshvara, Maitreya. They heavily venerate Maitreya Bodhisattva. So everywhere we go, you find Maitreya Bodhisattva's images, and also Avalokiteshvara, and also Taras, plenty of Taras. They recently unearthed one of the biggest Avalokiteshvara images. It's like a 30 feet tall granite solid rock, one single rock image from Sri Lanka. It's in the southern part of Sri Lanka called Vittala, like maybe 25 years ago, 30 years ago. Very recent excavation. So, yeah, so it's really hard to say it's a completely Theravada. And there are a lot of mantras chanting inside the Theravada tradition too. There's book called Suvarna Purnajan Vante. It's a book of chanting. It's full of mantras. Sivali mantra, a lot of mantra for raining, mantra for stopping raining, mantra for fire, mantra for, it all starts with Om Swaha Swaha. And then, yeah. So, because Sri Lanka also heavily influenced by Vaitulyavadi, Vajrayana school, once upon a time in history. So, it's not completely now torn apart from Vajrayana. It's the prayers, the drumming, all is very mix of Vajrayana influence. Still, we can see. But they're more. So, although there are Bodhisattva images, and also they heavily venerate Vishnu as a protector of the island. Wherever you go, you find Vishnu. Sometimes you get surprised. Even today, we went to Sri Lankan temple and we saw Ganesha, Vishnu, Skanda Kumar, several Saraswati, the deities inside the Buddhist temple, and you just surprised why these Hindu deities inside the Buddhist temple. And there is a reason. There's in the history, a lot of transcontinental marriage was happening. So the Buddhist king used to marry a Hindu queen from South India. So they need a place for their wives to pray inside the temple. So they build a Hindu shrine inside the temples. And it's a very beautiful coexistence. So yeah, just like Newar, Vajrayana have a lot of Hindu deities. Theravada, Sri Lankan Theravada also have Hindu deities, but they more focus on Sakyamuni Buddha than any other Buddha. And they also have 28 Buddhas, Atavisati, 28 Buddhas veneration. Yeah, that's the difference.
I have one small question.
Yes, yes.
Just I want to know, first of all, I want to thank you
Oh,
so much,
that's it.
and you practice a lot. So
I still am learning. Every day is a testimony.
But I don't know a lot, but just I want to, like in Sri Lanka, is that Vipassana meditation centers, and the Vipassana is popular over there, or people believe in that. I went to like the one time when Goenka was here, and I listened the pravachan, this pravachan, and that time he said like, this is the one which the Buddha told us, the real one, the Vipassana. But after that, like you said, it thinks about the people in different way, and they make the different sectors, different sects, and people think like that my sect is there. But Buddha always said no sect, and that's why. How do you think about the Vipassana meditation? And is it popular in Sri Lanka? Like people believe in for the like for nirvana. I mean, this is the way we have to go in for the nirvana, and like this is the way of life to live, and like we have as a human being, and we always think like there should be some purpose of life, and so always we think like, oh, this person is bad and he said this and this to me, so always think, oh, it's very hard to forgive the other people, right? So we have always like different kinds of temptation and everything. So how we can cope with this, and like in Sri Lanka people, how they do the meditation?
Yeah, thank you so much. I think I'm not wrong. I would like to boil down your question to two. One is about the personal school, and another is how to deal with the anger. Okay?
Yeah,
Is it
like not poor, but people meditation is the way or way of life to be happy, or yeah, I don't know a lot about that,
Okay.
but I heard about this provision, and then I realized that, oh, something is, like you said, the main part is the mind, like inside, like what you said, like inside, we always think about the outside world.
Yeah.
But if we went inside, then you will realize, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much for the question. So let me answer in two ways. So first of all, the personal school. Yes, Goenka, I really appreciate, respect Goenka Guruji. He is the main pioneer who popularized this great tradition of Vipassana. There are many other schools too. So my guru from another Vipassana, it's called Pau Vipassana school, is different from Lady Sayadaw school. So there are several Vipassana schools emerged in, especially in Myanmar, Burma, today Myanmar. So there are several, not only one. So there are several lineages. So yeah, every lineage can claim that we are the purest one and we are the superior. Yeah, people can enjoy that kind of narrative, but most important, whether it's reducing your suffering, whether it's reducing your defilement, grief into delusions, that's the question you need to ask while you're practicing. So every vipassana is very great method, but sometimes doesn't become a cup of the tea. So some vipassana work for you, some doesn't. So we need to try, according to your personality, and also one of the wrong narratives that we borrowed during this colonization time. You know, they introduced so-called early Buddhism term. You know? I think we have early Buddhism. These scholars, the universities, especially the colonial academics, they came to Asia and started digging the Buddhist philosophy, and they differentiate something inside the academic Buddhism is only the writing or reading is Buddhism. And also there is another school, is only the meditation is the Buddhism, the way for liberation. Apart from vipassana, apart from reading, nothing is Buddhism. Even the praying, you know, the puja, nitya, all that is nonsense. You know, these are the child play. That's how they portray. I like to call them academic or Protestantism. You know, that's how we were taught inside the academic. Just you need to read the books, write the books, own the degrees, that's all. And all the cultural part, the colorful cultural part, even the meditation is not a part of Buddhist practice or liberation. That's how it was misinterpreted. But each and every colorful culture, even the offering, we were talking early morning, right? With Guruji, that even the offering of flower has a deep meaning. Even lighting a lamp has a deep meaning in each and every tradition. So it's part of meditation, it's part of purification. But we only hang around with someone's story, lineage story. This is the only way. No. In Buddhism, there is no so-called this is. If you say this is the only way, you are in the Atma Dustri. There are many ways, but lead to the same direction, to liberation. So yes, Vipassana is a kind of very high way. It's a little bit dry because you need to practice alone. It's very dry, you know, it drags a lot of energy. Sometimes even, I have many friends who give up on third, fourth days. They just, you know, without informing the institution, they just ran away from the 10-day retreat sessions. And the second question I'd like to answer of the anger, how they deal. Sri Lankan people, they have I call it karma therapy. It's maybe, so whenever something bad happens to them, they say, oh, maybe I have done something wrong to that person or some other person, that's why it's coming to me. That's why it's making me angry, it's my karma. That's the one way they cope up with anger. And another is, you know, empty boat. There's one very beautiful story in Zen. You know, there was one monk who was very irritated with other monks, and he really wanted to meditate in peaceful place. So he talked to his the senior monk instructor and said, I really want to go into the solitude, so please give me permission, and I will go at the next bank of the big giant river, the lake. And so, okay, you can go there, and he arranged everything. He got into a boat, and he was rowing the boat and trying to get next part, the other part of the shore. And while he was rowing the boat, he saw one boat was coming toward him in very high speed. Imagine you are rowing the boat for enlightenment, you know, to have a very peaceful retreat sport, another part of the lake, and a crazy guy is coming with a jet engine, you know, making a lot of noise. How do you feel? Obviously irritated, right? And oh, I'm on the spiritual journey, and this guy is, you know, crazy people. So these monks also got the same, you know, narratives. See, I'm trying to be an enlightened person, and this guy didn't understand that where I'm going, and he's having all the images. Okay, once he comes near to me, I will scold him, debate with him, you know, curse him, all kind of story he was making inside his head. And when the boat came near to him, so there was nobody inside the boat. It's an unanchored boat coming with the current. And all the anger inside. So that most of the anger are just like this empty boat. We're angry for our own reason. You know, sometimes we love to, you know, blame on others, you know, try to find scapegoats, you know. that's the reason, but I'm angry. This is the person because of my wife or husband or kids or even the government, right? Even the God sometimes, karma. But it's all same. There's nothing, if someone blame you in alien language or don't understand what they're saying, do you buy that blaming? I think our linguist expert is here, right? Oh, yeah. He know bunch of languages, so he can interpret very easily. But imagine there are certain languages that you can understand. You shouldn't buy their words, right? They don't care. It's a sound coming to your heart. Yeah. That's it. So that's how the empty board or emptiness works when you are meditating. Of course, the loving kindness, metta meditation, that help your heart.
Well, for me, like that's why it's 84,000 sutras, 84,000 teachings. So it doesn't matter. It not maybe work for everybody. It's every day. So you need to find yourself. That's why we say that we love yourself and then find your destination. This destiny where you want to be, how you want to be. So if you look for that way, then you find something there, and you keep continuing, and not like a changing every day. It's like, oh, I got a job, it's getting tired, I'm going to change. Those the masters like a lifetimes in the one job. They never change the job. They only one job they will do. Monk, they will stay in a monk for the rest of life. So that's why it's like the mind need to be changed that way. Happiness is wherever you go, it is happiness. You need to make it happy for your inside, inner part, and you can move forward with that way. Otherwise, you're not happy, you're not, oh, this is not right, this is not right. That's not, not getting happy with it anywhere. That's why it's I love about the Sarvagana traditions, of the Vante tradition. They have 500 orators, and their biography like that. Everyone in the orators, most of them is like who clean the toilet, who cook, who sweep every day in the morning to the temple, who clean the dishes all day long. Their dedication, their motivations, they're like, well, I'm helping through others. And then they never hesitate to, like, I have to work to the toilet all day long. Because they feel like, wow, I'm helping lots of people because I clean the toilet, it's a help to other people. Once you have a mental setup that wherever you are, it can be liberations. So one of the things we need to work our individual mind and change it that, what you want to be. And then don't hesitate, don't get to like immediately anger, don't get to like, get immediately reactions with that. Pause for a second, there must be the reason. That's why it's in the karma in the Buddhist word, that's why I always use. Karma they use in the Buddhist word, blame yourself basically, that's what I say. Karma. If that they use success, it is karma. If you just fall down, so you're not a success, it's my karma. Just blame yourself. Because it is true. If you are success, because who did it success? Yeah, my father did a success, my grandfather did, yes, one part. But the reality, your effort, your times, your dedication is make a success. That's why that's what we blame in the karma. Karma is a truly Buddhist word. So whatever you can blame to the karma, that's what it is. There's one question that I'm going to answer. Other asking the question is there true that the modern Theravada, there is the opinions that Jnana. Opinion Jnana is not the.
Okay, is this true that in modern Theravada there is an opinion that jhanas are not achievable?
So she spelled jhana into.
Oh, it means jhana. I think
Jhana.
if I'm not wrong, maybe jhanas. The level of Patama, Dutiya, jhanas. Level of the jhana, the concentration. So, I don't think so. Still, jhana is very important. Jhana means concentration. The level of the penetrative level of your mind. it brings your mind very one-pointedness. So there are different levels, 1 to 8 levels. So Pratama Dhyana, Dutiya, Tritiya, Chaturtha, and goes up to 8. So it's a sharpening your instrument. So
It's like a team of rulings in the Buddha's
it's basically just gears of the vehicles. When you ride a vehicle to go to a certain destination, we need to warm up the engine to go to destination. So jhana still comes. It's part of the meditation, whether you like or not. You get certain jhanic experience, the calmness, the clarity. Sometimes you feel that you're floating in the sky, or this kind of different experience, jhana experience. So basically, there are two things. Jhana is needed. It's part of but you should not stop in the jhanas. So in Theravada tradition, you should take a turn from fourth jhana for asavakya, for non-attachment meditation. Two questions. So if you go to the eighth jhana, you stop forever in the Brahma realm. So Buddha was practicing dhyana for many, many years, and he saw that, a lot of meditators stuck in those hibernate modes. So when you go to the eight jhanas, you cannot feel anything. Even mind become totally invisible. Mind play a trick with us that even mind doesn't exist, but it's still in a hibernate mode. So those are different level of jhanas existing in the meditation world. But the important thing is once your mind is sharp enough at the fourth level, and you turn into the asavakya. That's how the meditation school train. So jhana is basically concentration, the level of your concentration. You need to sharp your instrument, tune your microscope to see the truth. So it's just tuning. And once you come out from meditation, the jhana is gone. It's not permanent thing. It's gone. You come to the bottom level, sometimes zero level. Again, you start. Tune your microscope to see the truth. So yeah.
So let's make it the last question. Anybody have a last question? So wrap up, and we have a dinner to serve.
Hi, thank you for being here, first of all.
Yes, sir.
I'm curious if you could speak a little bit to ahimsa as a person living in this very violent world. I have for many years been involved in a lot of political activism, and as I integrate more spiritual practices, loving kindness, meditation, sometimes I grapple with that feeling almost like spiritual bypassing. In fascism. So I'm just curious if you could speak generally to that. I know it's kind of a broad question. But,
So how to promote ahimsa for world peace? That's it.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah. That's a very non-violence. I really like that term, and also the spiritual bypass too. It's very needed. Our world has been stuck in this violence for many, many years. And if we really look back at the history and timeline, we are living in the most peaceful timeline of the entire human history. If I'm not wrong, the history says that, after the Second World War, yes, of course, there are violence in cities, small, but one country never, like to conquer another country or expand their territory, right? Until for a few years, we were in a very peaceful, like after the Second World War, like 70 decades. We were in a very, very peaceful history of our human mankind. So we got the very beautiful story called human rights. I really like that story. We built that story through the UN Convention. So every human being, we only include human beings in that human rights. We totally forgot about other living beings to coexist with us. Honeybees, I learned that if the honeybees vanish away from this world, within 20 years, even human beings also vanish away. Because they are the one who making our food, right? Pollinating the flowers and making food. So ahimsa should expand to all sentient beings, not only just human beings. And it should be start from yourself, from very yourself. It's really hard to forgive yourself because we all have these wounds, very deep wounds, scars inside us. So the metta, yes, the loving kindness meditation, it's not always, just uttering the may I be happy, may I be well, or may others be happy, may I be well. Yeah, that's the traditional way of doing metta meditation. But which I prefer is just apologize yourself and forgive yourself. Vice versa. Apologize and forgive. Forgive and apologize your inner self. Just like you're embracing the inner child. Please forgive me for my old demands. And I forgive myself too. So back and forth. And you expand this forgiveness and apologizing to your loved ones, your parents, and your spouse, your husband, your kids. And then you can able to say that may or he or she be happy. The most thing why people hate each other is they always want to see negativity of, our brain is wired to see more negative stuff. That's how our brain evolved for millions of years in the history, to see more negative than positive thing. So whenever we say ahimsa, it's very good concept. And the very thing we need to see is try to see good things in them. Even although the Hitler was portrayed as very most of the best, worst cruel person in the world, right? Even he had human heart too, right? He was vegetarian, do you know that?
No, I didn't know that.
He was vegetarian and he has a very beautiful pet, dog, and he loves paintings. And he was never married. Even certain biographers portrayed that he was a virgin too. He was never married. What I'm trying to say is, in everyone there is something beautiful inside them. So whenever we polarize, blue versus red, or me versus others, always we are stuck in this negative. And nowadays soccer, right? Very beautiful things happening, right? Soccer. I really, although I'm not in that, I'm not much in the sport, but I really like how people are united. Instead of making wars. When Iran came to the United States, I was surprised. Really? Are they really coming here? And they really played in the United States? Wow, really? How people start to tolerate, So yeah, I really like that, the tolerance, how sports brings, unites the people, and what would be the next question? Spiritual bypass?
That's it.
Yes, how to balance inner work with moral obligation to fellow humans, I suppose. without
Oh yeah,
spiritual
since you are
bypass.
in, that's very good. Yeah, we need to balance this both life. We have this tendency to do thought. If you compare the Eastern world, very dependent to each other, right? For kids, for families, they're very dependent. And Western powers, they only want to be independent, right? But our life is both interdependent. We need each other. We need to have balance within. We need to work with ourselves too, and also we need to make a harmony with the society too. So yes, of course, we need to balance this both life. We are human beings. We evolved in herds, in a hunter-gatherers. In hunter-gatherers, we live in a society, right? We often forget that who we were and we are, right? We are mammals, the best mammals ever born in the planet. That's why we conquer the entire world, right? we conquer the entire world because of narratives, healthy, good narratives. All the constitution, all the regions, all the even UN Convention of Human Rights, they are beautiful stories. They make unite us. That's why we conquer it. Even the
the dollar bill, which we caught in I think in Texas and DC, right? They make the dollar bills. It's a beautiful story, right? No, we believe on the story, and that's why we exchange, right? We human beings evolve in a storytelling being. So, as an activist, we need to build healthy stories to be united, be living. Of course, we need more activists. Right? Peace cannot be happen just uttering the uttering the mantras. Of course, it's a need for us, but we need activists like you to bring more peace. But peace only can be happens if you are in the peace. So there is no path to peace. Peace itself the path. So we can include people into the peace. And it's not the easy journey. It has a lot of ups and downs. As you say, a lot of spiritual bypass. A lot of the people who come in the spiritual world, they do bypass. I think you all are aware of the bypass, right? There is problem inside you, but you totally forget, or you just put some band-aids on it, and you try to behave like an enlightened person, or do all the things, but still the wounds inside you, still those pain are inside you. So that's called spiritual bypassing in technical word. So every day the healing should happen every day. In every prayer, there should be healing. I was talking with my friend David, right? We're talking about how the traumas were created in the war zone. Although it has happened many years ago, still those trauma exist inside us. Sometimes we have this generational trauma. Recently, I met a Tai Chi teacher in San Jose, and she was doing a lot of work with the indigenous community in San Jose, Native Americans. And they have a special kind of prayer. When they do prayer, they pray to heal the generational trauma which happened in the past 7 generations. And also they pray for future 7 generations not to happen the traumas in 7 generations. So 7 generations in the past heal the past traumas, and 7 generations in the future not to happen in again. That's how these native people, do prayer to heal those trauma. And all the things that we are seeing here today, I personally believe that. I'm also I'm not a fan, but I often read the Holocaust stories. Whenever I go to DC, I go to visit the Holocaust Memorial Museum. Not because that I want to remind the history. I always wonder why certain group of people are committing too much crime or bring a lot of pain into them, or other group. It's all because of genocide. If you dig down the people who are making a lot of troubles in society, once a week we hear a lot of gun violence, right? If you dig their biography or the childhood history, 99% of them have been through trauma, and they don't know how to deal with their trauma. So that's why they are pouring their trauma into unknown, sometimes innocent kids. Yeah, so yes, we need to heal those wounds. And a spiritual place like this, and all kind of spiritual places are a very great place to heal those unprocessed traumas. Yeah, thank you.
Let's continue to discuss while we're eating the dinner.
Oh, yeah.
So, we can still listen to discussions, let's have it, let's wrap up for today. And then we have a dinner, shall go through, maybe we have not much people, or we can have a dinner in the house. So it'll be good, or we can bring it here too, so then we can discuss more about that too. So, yeah, this is
Thank you so much. So,
Yeah,
I would like
thanks.
to bless upon
Thank
you
you.
with the power of Dhammasapacha. According to Buddha, is a great way of learning instead of one-way communication. So, with the blessings of the Dhamma discussion we did here, may all be happy, healthy, successful, free from all kind of darkness in your life, all pain, stress, pollution. May all progress in your life, and at the end, may all find peace, happiness, liberation in your lives. I would like to bless upon your Sabbitiyo vivajjantu sabbarupo vinassatu mate bhavatvantarayo sukhi digayuko bhava bhavatu sabba mangalam rakhantu sabba devata sabba buddhanubhavena sabba dhammanubhavena sabba sanghanubhavena sada sokhi bhavantu te. All blessings to you.
So thank you, so it was honor. So to have you here. Let's have a good picture.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to turn off the recordings and other.